What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Make It Make Sense. I am your host, Bottles of Beer, and today we're going to be doing a little quick review on a fragrance on my scent of the day, Mysterious Rose from AMOUROUD, from the Elixir line. Think you'll like this content? Stick around. Let's get straight to it. Pow! All right, first off, before we get started, do me a favor, smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when I upload more videos. That being said, let's get right to it. So, like I said before the intro, I'm going to be talking about the fragrance from AMOUROUD from the Elixir line, Mysterious Rose. And this is the bottle that it comes in. Open like such. It's a pretty nice presentation. See that right there? Get the focus. Alright. So, Mysterious Rose. This is an absolute stunner of a rose fragrance. So lately I have been trying to, well, I'm not going to say trying. Lately I've just been infatuated with different rose fragrances. I don't know, it's something about them. Maybe it got something to do with the season that we're in the springtime rose fragrances normally seem to do pretty well in a season like this. So with that being said, maybe that could be, or maybe I'm just, I don't know, in a rose chokehold right now. Who knows? But with this fragrance, this is a semi-sweet but very creamy, lactonic rose scent. It do smell as if there's multiple kinds of roses in this one. I want to say Bulgarian rose and damask rose, if I'm not mistaken. But you get a ton of notes with this one. But from what I pick up, now I can say this. Fig is a note that I'm not able to pick out in a lot of fragrances. With this one, I actually can detect the fig. The fig mixed with the vanilla in here, to me. I'm gonna say the fig, the vanilla, and the benzoin. Maybe some more, but it kind of gives this a gourmandish feel to me. It gives a creamy, semi-sweet. It makes this rose it's just a tad bit gourmandish, very creamy, very jammy to my nose. Also, with this one, for some reason, this gives me the picture of like a white rose. What do I mean by that? I don't tend to, with most rose fragrance, you can get that juicy red rose, that's depicted in the picture. For some reason, this reminds me of, I'm not sure if you are familiar with that new Sauvage that came out, I want to say Eau Forte, and it was this creamy white substance. Well, not substance, but liquid, the juice of that fragrance. And that kind of turned people off a tad bit. People didn't like that. Even when you spray it on, you did have a white substance on your skin. This one gives me the impression of that, just from the smell. Now, when you spray this on, let me show you. That's definitely not what you get. But now, not right in the opening. Right in the opening, it's pretty normal. You get some rose in there, some fig, and a tad bit of I don't know if that's bergamot, some type of citrus, whether it's bergamot, lemon. Get a tad bit of some style of a citrus. But as it dry down, That's when the creamy factor come in. I do believe there's praline in this also, but it's a very prominent rose, but it just, I don't know, it gives me the sense of a white rose. If you picture a white rose, it seems like that's more of what this will be, even though, as you can see, that's not the case as far as the juice color. I would even go so far as when it dries down, if you're familiar with Signature Rosé from Zaharoff, you know, that has that somewhat of a pinkish, you get a pinkish color with that one. Just picture that fragrance, but remove that color away. If you are familiar with that scent, remove how, you know, the color with that one matches very perfectly. It's, you know, that it's kind of an art to these things, to where even from the bottle, the color of the bottle, the aesthetics that come with it, most of the time they try to keep those in the same bracket to give you a some kind of sense of where this fragrance, the direction this fragrance is going. So if you was to picture the scent of Signature Rosé with that color of the juice, and you strip away the pinkness from it and just turn it white, that's the style of that's the style of scent that I get with Mysterious Rose. But this is a perfect rose fragrance for me. Now, why do I say that? If you like fragrances that do project a lot, you know, I don't need all my fragrances to project, but a lot of rose fragrances don't tend to last as long, and I don't have a problem with that. But this is a fresh rose, so right off the jump, you know, with the description, you would probably think that this would last as long. But let me tell you, with this one, I smell this one pretty much all day, at least 10 hours. So I'm not gonna say all day, but I'm gonna say a minimum of 10 hours on my skin. Longevity, perfect. Projection, same, perfect. It's not loud, but it does project. I won't say that this sit close to the skin by far. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to fill up a room or anything like that, but every time I walk past someone, I can tell that they do smell that scent on me, because a lot of times I'm not going to tell you that it's a compliment magnet, but I get compliments all the time when I wear this one, or I get a question on what I'm wearing. So with that being said, to have a fresh, bright, gourmand rose fragrance with the longevity and the projection, this is my style of rose fragrance. Also, the versatility in this one. You can dress however the hell you want to, quite frankly. I'm gonna just be honest. Casual shorts with a t-shirt, perfectly fine. Sweater and some jeans, perfectly fine. Maybe you want to wear a suit, a tuxedo, perfectly fine. This one, to me, I'm not going to say it's a perfect 10 out of 10, because the only reason I'm not going to do that is because I've only wore this 3 times, and each time I'm noticing something different. At times, it can come off sharp. You want to get the right amount of sprays with this, because overspraying would definitely be a turnoff. And I tend to overspray a lot. That's just what I do. A lot of times I do that so I can see actually how the fragrance performs. If it's one that I'm already familiar with, then I pretty much know how I want to spray with that one. And that might be overspray again, who knows? But I tend to do between 6 and 8 sprays on a normal fragrance, unless it's a beast mode fragrance, then I wouldn't. So with this one, I would give this more of a 4 to 5 spray range. Now, that's because I do tend to go a tad bit overboard. Most people, I would think a 3 to 4 would be perfectly fine with this scent. And by all means, that's pretty much, that's up to, you know, whoever is wearing it. But most people, I could see them doing maybe 3 to 4 sprays. With that being said, this fragrance is by far very versatile. Season wise, I think this would do perfect spring, fall, summer nights. Now winter time outside, I think that'll be a problem because I think that's when, you know, the brightness of this fragrance, that sharpness mixed with that cold air, I'm a tad bit skeptical on that. I'm not going to count it out, but I didn't attempt to wear it in the winter, so I can't really say. Age bracket, any age bracket. Let's just say adult. Any adult, 18 up, 16 up actually, can wear this fragrance. Whether you in your senior age, teens, middle age, I think this is perfectly fine. This is one that I wish I'd have knew about this one early on. This some good stuff. Trust me on this one. If you can get a sample of this one, I would suggest definitely get you a sample. This is a gorgeous fragrance. Gender, definitely unisex. I will say this is a 50-50. And when I say that, I don't want to say that to be like in a safe little area because I don't want to choose. No, this is strictly 50-50. Do I think some men may find this feminine? If you're not experienced with rose fragrances, if most of the time you're going for a man's fragrance, you want a fougere, you want some harsh tobacco, a dark oud. If that is what you're accustomed to, sample first. Definitely, you should sample first anyway. But this is not in that ballpark. This is for us who is very versatile with our fragrances and we've experienced rose before. If you are not new to rose, this perfectly unisex, and you'll understand it once you get your nose on this one. Very wearable for me, and I think it'll be very wearable for you guys. So again, from the house of AMOUROUD, this is from the Elixir line. That's why the shape of the bottle is like that. This is Mysterious Rose. Definitely one to get your nose on. I'm telling you guys, this is a winner. All right. Well, that's the end of the video. If you like this content, again, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna keep the content going. Take care, enjoy, and I'm out.